It is my second day of reading this, and oh my god, I woke up at like 5:30 for some reason. Couldn't go back to bed. So around like 6 o'clock, once the sun started coming up, started reading this. I have not been able to stop reading this fucking book. This is insane, and I'm realizing I've never really read a thriller book in my life. I'm on page 73. I was reading the first page, and I've never read a Cormac McCarthy book, but I've heard, things about his prose, and the prose kind of remind me of that, where it's like, he did this, and it was like this, and it kind of threw me off at first. And then within like two paragraphs, I was like, wait, this is so fun to read. It's so fast paced. I had a prediction that the Slade guy and Helena, they're the reason that FMS is a thing, and I'm a little further in. I think that's probably true. But some of the writing in this, I'm just going to read one little paragraph. I'm like shivering. I'm so fucking cold. It's so cold here for some reason. I don't know why. How does one define a simple memory anyway? If there is even such a thing when it comes to the human condition. Consider the albatross that landed on the platform during her run this morning. It's a mere flicker of thought in her mind that one day will be cast out into the wasteland of oblivion where forgotten memories die. And yet it contains the smell of the sea, the white, wet feathers of the bird glistening in the early sun, the pounding of her heart from the exertion of the run, the cold slide of sweat down her sides and the burn of it in her eyes, her wondering in that moment where the bird considered home in the unending sameness of the sea. When every memory contains a universe, what does simple even mean? That's insane. And it comes out of nowhere. This keeps happening. And it's so fast. It's like all this fast-paced crazy shit, and it's all this twist is happening. I mean, the Blake dude, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a super drawn-out thing. It's like his third chapter, he's getting fucking kidnapped and like strapped to a chair and injected with strange fluids. Every chapter is a cliffhanger. I want to keep reading. I'm done. I'm putting it down because I have some stuff to do. I could do it, but I'm gonna read a little more. I'm gonna at least get to like page like 150 today, I think. This is so fucking good. I'm so freezing. Let's go. Yes. I'm telling you, you have to try this. This is like genuinely, I can't stop smiling. Like it's so fucking good. Like it's so crazy good. So it's a time travel book now. This book is fucking insane. Okay. This was not the plan at all. My plan was my Stephen King books were going to come on Thursday, tomorrow. And I was hoping, maybe to get it done on Thursday, maybe Friday, talking about recursion. And last night, I only read like 20 pages at like 8 or 9 o'clock. That's like nothing. This book is like 320 pages. That's like barely a dent, right? Couldn't sleep this morning, so I started reading. And I realized really quickly how fucking awesome this book is. And before I know it, I'm on page 100. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put this down around page 100. It might have been like late, like 130. It was around part 2. Put it down on the shelf. like so, just like this. And the whole day, it's taunting me on the shelf, and I'm like, I'm just gonna finish this fucking book today. And it is now, I don't even know the time. I think it's like 4:45 in under 12 hours. Not just straight reading. I've probably only been reading in total for like 4 or 5 hours. This book is done. Not technically in a day because I read 20 pages last night, but for clickbait purposes, I am saying in a day. Oh man. Gonna record. I am gonna take a break now. I am gonna take a break from even thinking about this book. But first impressions, before I give a formal review, he knows it. He knows it too. Got you propped up on the Mortal Kombat machine, of course. This is so good. 5 out of 5 stars, but that does not necessarily mean a 100 out of 100. Let's just say that. This fucking book. Just finished the intro to my Salem's Lot video. I probably finished this book like 4 days ago, maybe 5 days ago now. Like, my sense of time is pretty fucked up. Wow, what a book. I mean, if you watch the video, I read it in a day. I read it in under 24 hours. I've never done that in my entire life except for a novella. This is not a novella. This is like 340 pages. This is a novel. So that should tell you how fucking good this book is. Most of my other reviews have been kind of like within 1 to 2 days after, except for Empire of Silence, that was a few days. But that was a big book. And the reason it took me so long to do record the review for this is because my instinct after finishing it was like, this is a 100 out of 100. And while I do think this is an amazing book, I knew I was being a little recency bias. It's gonna be very hard for me to give a book a 100 out of 100, I'll say that. I'll be given 90, 98s, 99s, 97s, but 100 out of 100, that's like reserved for like books that in my eyes are literally perfect. This book is not literally perfect, but my fucking God, is it so good. I read it all in a day because it's so non-stop, and I'm realizing reading and finishing this book that I've never really read like a true thriller. I've read books that have thriller elements, but this is like the mix of sci-fi and thriller is blended so well. The pace of this book is fucking insane. There's constantly something happening. And reading those first 20 pages, I was really interested, but not fully, I mean, not even knowingly, not understanding how the pacing of a true just thriller to the core is gonna work. You get the introduction of Barry at the beginning, and that first night, I was like, before bed, I was like, okay, you know, detective stuff. It's gonna be focusing on him doing detective work. He is a detective character. It's gonna be a cop versus thing, and it's gonna be like a showdown of him solving the case and whatever. And then I'm gonna, just so you know guys, you know what? This was gonna be no spoiler section. I'm not doing that. You wanna know my rating? It's a 98 out of 100, guys. It's a 98 out of 100. This book, of all the books I've read for the channel so far, this and Pet Sematary are like neck and neck for my favorite. Definitely a favorite book this month, that's for sure. Definitely my favorite book of this month. I'm all over the place because I don't even know where to start because there's so much shit in this book in such a tiny package. So as I was saying, it's gonna be a slow burn. You're gonna be slowly figuring out what this disease is, right? And then by page 60, he's being kidnapped and sent to the past to save his dead daughter. By page 60, this is happening. It turns into a time travel book in like under 100 pages. I thought I knew what this book was because I knew the basics of it. I knew it's a detective and a person who's trying to cure Alzheimer's, and there's this weird memory altering disease going on. And I was like, okay, I know a good amount. That's a good amount to know. If that's all you know about this book and you read this, it is like 1,000 times just that. That is boiling it down to the first 10 fucking pages. You find out everything that has to do relating to this very, very quickly. I can't even I don't even want to go into plot stuff because there's so much that it would take me forever to talk about. So I'm just gonna kind of skip the plot stuff for the most part and give like a general plot points. When it got to part 2, it had built up so fast, I was really worried okay, where do you even go from here? It's gonna slow down. And then it gets even faster somehow. All this crazy, trippy shit starts happening in the world. The stakes become
so high, like literally the end of the world. I don't even like know what I'm saying recording this. It is so good. It is so good. The writing in this is so good. It threw me off a little bit at first. Like the prose of it was very readable, but I was thrown off after coming off of Carrie. It's just different. But after like 20 pages, 30 pages, I was so into it and I realized I couldn't even imagine this being written any other way. In between that little bit of like simplistic prose, like very readable, not simplistic in a bad way. This is a good thing. It keeps the pacing so airtight because you're not having to go back and reread these long passages. This simplistic writing style is broken up by these like really beautifully written philosophical moments. Even if some of the things that are happening in this book are so outlandish, it always feels very grounded. If I had to compare it to anything, it reminds me, and my favorite movie of all time is Synecdoche, New York. It's directed and written by Charlie Kaufman. This has some similarities. It's a little Kaufman-esque, honestly, but it reminds me of a movie he wrote called Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That has a lot of similarities with this, but it takes that concept and turns it into something like so apocalyptic almost. It didn't slow down in part 2. And then it gets to part 3, I was like, okay, this is spoilers, I can say it. At the end of part 2, Barry dies. And then part 3 is all Helena. And I was, same thing going to part 2, I'm like, is it gonna slow down? And the beginning of part 3 does slow down a little bit, and I was a little worried about that, but thinking back on it, it needed that. Like, it needed that slowdown. And then it goes from slowing down to the most batshit insane stuff in the world. Wars are being fought and nuclear bombs are going off, starting over this time machine, and terrorist groups are constantly creating insane casualties and then resetting them over and over again and trying different things. And this is the most jumbled review I've ever done. I'm honestly like, don't even know where to go with it. Like I said, 90 out of 100, it's almost perfect. I think the only really thing that's holding it back is just honestly the fact that it doesn't feel like a 100 out of 100 to me. It's almost there, and I can't really put my finger on what it is. I think maybe a little bit is the Helena and Blake, that does not sound right. That does not sound right at all. Barry, I knew that wasn't right. The Helena and Barry relationship, it was believable, but because of the way it came in, like she already knew that they were gonna have a relationship because she comes back to him in the past. It's like some Back to the Future shit. You kind of get the fact that, oh, they are gonna have a relationship and it kind of comes out of nowhere, but it makes sense because she knows this. She's lived this life. I think just the conception of that, I wanted maybe a little bit more. But once you get into it, I mean, the whole ending of this book, part 4, is them constantly reliving their life together to save the world. It's so beautifully done. I think my other one point, I think this might actually have to do with me reading it in a day. I think the part 4, it could have I think it went on for like just like the teensiest bit too long. And like I said, I think that might be because I was reading it in a day. I bet if I split it up between 2 or 3 days, maybe like even 1 part per day, I think it might have fixed that problem for me. On a reread, who knows? I will reread this eventually. It is a very rereadable book. At least I would hope so. A book like this should be rereadable. What am I even saying? The ending was great. It just, yeah, it went on for a tiny bit too long, but it really stuck it. And just the romance, like, it worked for me once it got going, but you kind of didn't get to see it start going because it's the time travelness of it, the story, kind of the way the events played out, it just made it kind of so it was intentionally skipped over, like because it's already happened technically because of all these concepts. Those are like 1 point each of denominations because they're so minor and because like they're not even like badly done. It's just if I had to pinpoint a couple things of why it's not a 100, I think those are the 2 things. Besides that, this book is awesome. I don't like even if like someone smarter than me would poke holes in the science in this book, or maybe there's plot holes, like maybe some things don't add up with other things that I'll find out on a reread. It doesn't even matter to me because it's so entertaining. It's so interesting. It always is moving and has you thinking, and it goes. And each time you think it can't get crazier, it just adds all these stakes and steps all over itself in the best way. Like I said, the easy. What the fuck is wrong with me today? This is easily the most rambly review I've done because like I can't even after 5 days, I can't get my thoughts of this book in order because it really blew me away. It really did. And that's why this is a 9.8 out of 10. This is a 98 out of 100. I cannot wait to read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and I also heard some good things about the Wayward Pines trilogy. I'm sure there are people that really don't like this book. I just can't imagine being one of those people. I can't imagine having bad taste. Well, I would say on to Dungeon Crawler Carl, but I already finished that book and we're already on Salem's Lot. So actually, I got it right here because I have to record the review for this right now. But I tore through this book too. 3 days.
3 days!
Subscribe, like, follow, comment, rate.